Hey, what's up, Internet? This is D. You tuned in to Real Talk with D. How's it going? Good morning, world. So, like I said yesterday, I guess I'm gonna give you a little bit of information about where I come from, a little bit about my past. So, like too many of us today, I was raised in a single family home. Uh, Parents weren't together the whole time I grew up. If they were, it was too young to remember my dad even being around. He lived, he used to live in California. I grew up in Florida, so we would talk on the phone. He used to come for holidays when I was really young. But then that kind of stopped as I got a little older, and it was basically just my mom. Didn't find out later. He did send child support every month, not because he was on child support, just because I guess that was the type of dude he was, and that actually really that's what helped us survive because my mom was really poor, grew up in a poor situation. I remember one year she said her entire gross income uh, for taxes for the whole year was like $9,000. And so the monthly payment he sent was basically enough for the mortgage, and that was it. So everything else was on her, all the food, anything. We were on food stamps and we did the whole gambit. But anyway, got a little older, started being a teenager, middle school, started acting up a little bit, and got to the point that my mom just she couldn't deal with it, and she was like, you know what, I'm not dealing with this anymore. You're going to live with your dad. And so when I was in seventh grade, she sent me to go live with my pops in New Mexico, and I did not want to leave. Like, I didn't even know the dude. I did not want to go there. But she said, no, you have to leave my house. And so I went, and I spent about a year and a half there. I spent the end of seventh grade there. And after seventh grade, or close around that time, she asked if I wanted to come back. And I was like, no, I'm enjoying it. I think I'm getting to know this dude. You know, it's I'm liking it. And then he started going through health issues. He started having heart attacks, and he would pass out. He was always a diabetic, and he would pass out and go through like getting into diabetic comas and stuff, and it got really bad, and so they put him in the hospital. And before that happened, like our house caught on fire, and so we were staying in hotels as it was, and then he started having problems at the hotel. So then they put him in the hospital, and then shortly after he was in the hospital, he passed away. So I got to know him for about a year and a half before he passed. I was about 14 when he died. Just finishing up. I was finishing up eighth grade, and when I moved back to Florida, I had to come back. I went to high school, so I went into ninth grade. So I was 14 when he passed. He At that point, my mom had to take me back. She had no choice. Started high school. Started same old stuff. Came back with a West Coast mentality down in the South, and people couldn't understand that, but it was cool. And I just did my thing. But then I started, messing up again, and it wasn't even a year later I got put in jail for selling weed at school, and after that I got put on probation, and just kept messing up, doing the same thing, just acting wild, just a wild child, and about a year after that, it's about 15 or so, uh, mom couldn't deal with it. She was like, nope, you gotta go again. At this point, I didn't have a dad. She couldn't send me to go live with the other parent because he had passed, and so she just put me out. I was in juvie one time, and stood in front of the judge, and the judge asked, does she want me back home? And she said, no, I want him in a program. I don't want him back home. And the judge was like, well, he doesn't really have enough points to go into a program right now, so he's got to go home or to like a group home. She's like, I don't care where he goes, he's not coming home with me. And so I had a friend who lived right around the block, and talked to his mom, and she was like, yeah, you can come live with me. And so I started living with a friend. So from the time I was 15 and a half, I didn't stay at my mama's house. I wasn't allowed back. And his house wasn't much better, you know. Like, we would just do what we wanted to. It was pretty much a spot, you know. Had parties all the time, hanging out, doing whatever we wanted to. And got to a point, you know, I just kept going in and out of juvie, in and out of juvie, in and out of juvie, like it was a perpetual cycle. In and out of juvie, was on probation, in and out of juvie, in and out of juvie, and finally, you know, I turned 17. I was able to finally drop out of high school and pursue my GED. So when I went to do that, like a week before I started to take my GED, my probation officer came and said they want to send me to a program. And so I went to a program, went to a level 6 program, and spent about 6 months, 6 or 7 months there, and I actually turned 18 inside the program. So it wasn't the first time I spent a birthday while I was locked up. Unfortunately, it wouldn't be the last, but I guess that's a monumental birthday. I don't know, it was just another day for me, having to do the same old stuff back there. Anyway, that's a little bit of my past. I mean, we can go into further detail later. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed the cliff notes of my upbringing. Again, this was very short, sweet, to the point, I guess, if there was a point. Just some real talk, you know. Alright, so thank y'all for tuning in. Hope to see y'all back here next time. Till then, stay beautiful and stay strong. Peace out.